everyone, this is Hannah coming to you live from beautiful, not so sunny today, Provence. And just gonna check if we're live on YouTube. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I left all social media, basically Instagram, Facebook, and I'm really only on YouTube and LinkedIn if you want to find me there. So, and today's topic might be a little bit different from what I normally do because normally I educate people about health and wellness and nutrition, but I'm also practicing witch. If you haven't known that, now you know. So I'm going to talk about witches and cannabis or hemp because I'm becoming a cannabis coach and educator, and I feel that this topic really is dear to my heart. And cannabis is a plant that has been with cunning folk and witches for thousands of years. So I'm going to share my screen and we're gonna start. Again, you can find me at monatic.fr. Even if I live in France, I only speak English. I do farmers market where I'm forced to use French because most of the people here don't speak English, but the website is in English. And you can also find our shop at monaticprovence.com. So I'm going to share the screen. Let's go. And yes, so basically, I started to think about this presentation or this live as best gifts for weed witches. Weed witches are basically witches who work with cannabis. If you're still afraid of the word witch, then just know that witch is basically a woman who is empowered and sure of herself. So yeah, that's that. So let's start. Best gifts for witches, for weed witches. And a couple of words about me. So I'm Hannah. I originally come from Slovakia and we live in France. It's going to be 20 years in September. So I've lived here for almost half of my life. And there are pros and cons, of course. But I'm an owner of Monatic Provence, which is a herb farm, and we specialize in medicinal herbs. So they are not kitchen herbs. Uh, they are really medicinal herbs. I come from a family of conventional medical doctors, but I decided to go another route. So the route of plant healing. I'm also a certified eating psychology coach, certified at the Institute of Eating Psychology in Boulder, Colorado. I'm also a hypnotherapist, and currently I'm getting certified as a cannabis coach and educator. So let's really start about the connection between this beautiful plant, cannabis, and witches. So, first of all, the plant is ancient, okay? It's estimated that it has been around for 28 millions of years. So, it's been on this planet much sooner than we have. But we have been using this plant for thousands and thousands of years. And basically, alongside other herbs, we've used sacred plants. And one of these sacred plants is cannabis or hemp. If you haven't been watching my other videos about cannabis, and hemp, just know that these are the same plant, okay? Hemp is just the legal or linguistic word for cannabis that has less than 0.3% of THC. THC is the psychoactive compound in cannabis, but hemp and cannabis have been used for healing, for fiber, oil, clothing, and spiritual insight, of course, because THC, of course, has these psychoactive compounds. Unfortunately, over the years, when cannabis had to go underground, the CBD was spread out from the cannabis plant. But fortunately, the breeders are breeding that back in, and we have amazing CBD plants, which, as a farmer, I can grow, and I'm going to specialize in growing hemp in the near future. So really, before prohibition, the cannabis has been really woven into daily life across Europe, Asia, Middle East. We have the first basically archaeological evidence of using cannabis in rituals in China, almost 4,000 years ago, a long time ago. Hemp was really a staple crop for, again, rope, cloth, paper, lamp oil, medicine. If somebody who's watching is from the US, the Declaration of the Independence was written on hemp paper. So really, hemp was interwoven into daily life. And we have a couple of interesting archaeological evidence for this. Herodotus, who was a historian, he writes about nomadic tribe of Scythians. Scythians, I studied history, so I'm really fascinated about all these archaeological findings. Scythians basically used the cannabis, they threw it on hot stones, and they use it during funeral burning, funeral rituals. And Herodotus writes about that. And also, I was lucky to visit the Norway museum, Viking museum, where you can see this Oseberg ship or Viking ship from Oseberg, where two women were found in the ship being the grave for them. It's one of the richest, really, burial finds ever found. And one of the women had a leather sack full of cannabis. So, of course, we cannot say whether she used it as a spiritual leader, or maybe it was just a symbolic reminder of using hemp in the afterlife. We don't know. The wonderful thing with archaeology is that it's the true science, and history only really uh, is when archaeological findings are found, we can really adjust history then. Um, so really, cannabis plant again has been used for thousands of years. Also in um, like healing remedies, of course, were used until the 1940s. Basically, cannabis plant was stopped being used or stopped being shown in the US pharmacopoeia in the 40s because of all the racist propaganda, which we could see in the US. And unfortunately, there are still many countries, including France in Europe, that look at cannabis not as a healing plant, but as a drug. And unfortunately, also, if you go on Google, not that you should use Google, but even DuckDuckGo, if you go there and if you write cannabis facts, then you just get really answers like cannabis is the most used illicit drug and so on. So as educators, we really need to make sure that we educate people about the wonderful healing properties of this plant. And I'm currently working on a course which is called Hemp for Health. Again, hemp is just another word for cannabis because we can really use hemp in so many different ways. So stay tuned for that. If you practice herbal astrology, it's cannabis really is ruled by Saturn or Mercury. Um, and it's associated with liminal states, boundary crossing, deep bodily relaxation, of course, if somebody's using recreational marijuana. Marijuana is just another word for cannabis, basically. Really, some historians think that it was part of not only the anointing oil for Jesus, but also in flying ointments that were used by witches. And again, I use the word witch as something which is normal for me, but if you have trouble with this word, just substitute it with cunning women or herbalists, whatever you would like to choose. Okay. Hemp has had its role in ritual candles, cords, altar cloths, even the the clothing basically that was used, and we can use it in magical crafts, of course. And I have here a couple of ideas. If you know somebody who loves cannabis, who loves hemp, what are the best basically gifts that you could give them? Or if you are kind of curious or curious about cannabis, maybe you would like to explore different things that you can use. Okay, so as an owner of a herb shop, I of course make herbal blends. So this is, let me see if you can see it. This is a hemp blend that is combined with rose, jasmine, and lavender. Because again, you can combine cannabis with different herbs or hemp with different herbs. And you can combine it with mint for daily drinking because mint is, of course, very invigorating and it's going to give you refreshment and energy, just as CBD hemp. And also, you can combine it with rose lavender for an evening blend. And that's what I use in this blend. And again, you can find it at monaticprovence.com, which is our shop. Um, Candles, you can use candles that are rolled in cannabis or hemp, which is powdered. And what I absolutely love, and I really was looking for it for a long time because it's not readily available, tarot. I don't know if you use tarot. You can use tarot or oracles. What are tarot cards? Tarot cards are basically cards that have been used from 15th century. They were um, first used in Italy for a game which is called tarocchi. And I mean, if you're a witch, I'm sure you know Raiders Bait deck, and basically most of the tarot cards, or all tarot cards, are based on that original deck. But I love this pot tarot deck, and again, I'm going to put a link to an article where you can find all the links to these products. Those can be affiliate links. So I'm just making sure you know that. Pot Tarot is such a lovely deck for somebody who's using hemp or cannabis because basically the author is um, Peggy White. The author basically changed there are still major arcana cards. So major arcana, if you don't know anything about tarot, those are basically if you find that card, for example, the Fool or the Magician, if you have this one of those tarot major arcana cards in your reading, then it means that it means big life changes. Okay, minor arcana are really for changes in your daily life. So the author basically used cannabis illustrations um, that really represent the the really so many sides of cannabis, and it's really so nice to just sit down in the morning if you have time, if not that in the evening, and just start with one tarot card. Okay, of course you can do readings for your friends or family, or if you are a practitioner, you can use tarot cards. They are really helpful for guidance. Okay, so I normally use I do a big reading, Celtic cross reading, when the season changes. So winter solstice, around solstices mostly. But if I'm cold, I'm using the 3 card spread, which is 3 cards. You have 3 cards um, past, like today and future. So that's really a very simple way how to use tarot cards. And I absolutely love that. Uh, for example, Chariot, she used Van as a chariot. For strength, she used chocolate, like because you can use hemp or cannabis in edibles. So I really encourage you to explore this deck. Again, I'm going to put a link to a blog post that I wrote on this topic. So make sure you check out all those links. Another wonderful thing that could be a great gift are books, of course. Yeah, if you're a witch, I'm sure that you have a library full of books. So I got 2 books when it comes to weed witchery, and those are Weed Witchery for Everyday and Weed Witch. And I absolutely love these 2 things. Let me just move the presentation so you can see these different ideas for gifts. So here we have Pot Tarot and we have these 2 books. So Weed Witch, I'm reading it for the second time, and it's such an amazing book because it really, without shame, it really explains cannabis from all different perspectives, whether you use it for wellness, whether you use it for sex, whether you use it for magic. It's an amazing book. You have frequently asked questions. So even if you are somebody who's just starting with cannabis or hemp, this is just such a wonderful book. The author is Sophie St. Thomas. She's originally from US Virgin Islands, but she lives in New York. And again, amazing book, really highly recommend. Um, And another book, which I didn't even start reading, but it's not really for reading, it's more like a calendar. So you have one recipe or one guidance for every single day. So let's find today. Today is the 27th of January, and we have the topic is find your wild, which is wonderful. So I'm gonna read it after this live. So these are the two books that I would really recommend you read. Why for 20 days? Because if you know a little bit about the history of cannabis, 420 was basically um, an hour where a couple of guys, kids, in the U.S. and in a high school, they met after school to smoke pot, basically. So that's 420. It's so funny that my kids are ending school at 420 as well. So you're gonna remember 420 for sure. And then, of course, you can combine all these things with gifting high quality hemp or CBD flowers. If you are living in a state where cannabis, medical cannabis is legal, then of course it can have higher percentage of THC. Unfortunately, in France, we are only allowed to grow and sell hemp. But those are wonderful gifts. Just remember that you really have to be sure about the quality, because I'm repeating it in every video that hemp or cannabis is a bioaccumulator, which basically means that it sucks up all the pesticides, herbicides, toxins from the soil. So if you are buying CBD products, for example, or cannabis products from somebody who hasn't done the work and his or her soil is contaminated, then you're going to get all those toxins into your final products. That's why for farmers like me, it's really crucial, and we are legally obliged to test our products, not only because we have to ensure that the product has less than 0.3% of THC, but also you can test for mold and for, again, pesticides, herbicides, and so on. So strongly encourage you and I'm gonna put all these information into my course that I'm releasing maybe next week. We're gonna see, which is called Hemp for Health, and you're gonna find so much more information about this wonderful plant. One last thing, I got this one for Christmas, and it's amazing because I'm not really a huge fan of smoking cannabis, even if I know that whole culture basically was around smoking when cannabis went underground. But fortunately, more and more states are legalizing cannabis currently. Slovakia's neighbor, Czech Republic, finally legalized growing, not only for farmers, but growing really medical cannabis. Three plants, you can grow three plants if you're in Czech Republic that can have more than 0.3% of THC, and also you can have around 100 grams for a personal use. So this is a dry herb vaporizer because it doesn't heat the plant as much as you would with smoking. So huge fan of dry herb vaporizers because it's just you can really smell and feel the difference. I'm using CBD flowers from different companies for this dry herb vaporizer. And again, all the information will be in my course, Hemp for Health. And I'm going to then put the link when it's released under this video. So that's all for today. I hope you learned something new during this best gift for witches or weed witches. And I'm a cannabis educator and cannabis coach in training. So If you are interested, if you're kind of curious, if you want to get coached when it comes to cannabis and hemp, then I'm going to also put a link under this video so you can book a coaching session. And yeah, you can find us, our herb shop, at monaticprovence.com. We are on Shopify and we are also again back on Etsy. So again, monaticprovence.com, or you can go straight to monatic.fr. Both sites are in English. Sorry for everybody who speaks only French, but you're probably not watching this if you're French. Okay, so that's all for today. Take care. Bye bye.